Hello, hello. Today I would like to present a little bit about my services so that you're able to understand what is encompassed with College Advising Boutique. By the way, my name is Eva Goetze. I am the founder of College Advising Boutique. I've done this for about 18 years and I'll go over an introduction shortly. Yeah, so this is the fun little slide. It's not too long, so we'll go ahead and get through it. All right, so today we'll start out with a few avenues. Who am I? Who are you? What are colleges looking for? How do they judge you? How can I help you stand out? And what avenues of phases? I have 3 different specific phases that I take my students through, which is really exciting. And then just student success stories and typical questions that you might have. So who am I? I used to actually work as a COO, Chief Operations Officer and Chief of Staff in fintech, AI, real estate. I've been in the career and corporate world for over a decade. And while I was doing that, I was also helping students part-time. I've helped students get into a variety of colleges, Yale, Duke. I actually have a whole website here. Let me show you my website real quick. Let's pause that. Okay, so you just go to College Advising Boutique. You'll be able to find a little bit about me. This is me before my pink hair. I know I look kind of funny. People say, I'm so used to you with pink hair now. And I'm like, I know, it's kind of fun. So this is me. If you'd like to book a consultation, you can just click any of the buttons. It's actually over 18 years of experience. I've helped over 1,000 students now. And these are some of the colleges that they've been accepted into: Yale, Brown, USC, UC Berkeley. And I have a whole list of avenues here. I think I probably need to update another 10 because I got a student into Columbia and what's the one? Rice University. Rice might be on here from a different student. Yeah. But anyway, you can come on here and you can see all my fun services. You can see what other students have said, other scholarships. And one more thing up here for my services, you can see one-on-one advising, everything that I do with my students, and then also other things that you might learn: organizational skills, planning, better study habits, etc. And then, of course, my favorite essays. So we'll go over kind of my phases, but these are the specific things that I help my students with: personal statements, Common App essays, figuring out their voice. I can look at an essay, because I've done this for so long, in under 10 seconds, and I can list probably 50 things that they need to change. But we always do this in little phases. So we start out with exploration, we write drafts, etc. But these are just a few different things that you can see. I'd also recommend check out some of the blogs that I've created. You can come over here and see the blogs. Whether you are in 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grade, there's a variety of things that can help you along your journey. So, okay, let's get back to this. Okay, so presentation mode. Here we go. Sorry, that was a little side note, but it's just easier to show you like where have my students been accepted on the website and everything. There's just a lot more information. Okay, I mentioned former fintech, and then who am I just as a person outside of college advising? Well, you're able to see me here, and this is my fam. This is my mom. She's also known as Abuela. These are my sister's kiddos. I'm world's best auntie. This is my sis Sarah. I was almost a Sarah, but instead I was an Eva. I'm also a real estate investor. I'm super excited about learning ADUs, how to build little casitas, and I'm obsessed with like investing. I even do like my own events for investing, which is fun. Okay. So how do colleges judge you? Now, they used to just judge you on a few different things: just your GPA, just your SAT, maybe an essay, maybe a club. And now they look at, no joke, like 17 different avenues. Are you connecting with them? Have you gone to their webinars, the tours? Have you gone on their website? They can check analytics now. AI is huge. So look at a variety of things when you're thinking about, I really want this college to take me seriously. Well, some of the ways you can do that is through academic rigor. What does that mean? GPA, AP, honors, dual enrollment, where you're also working with a community college, you're taking Coursera classes. And this is really huge and important if you're taking a class that your high school doesn't offer. For example, maybe your high school offers psychology, AP psychology, but you know you want to be a psychologist. What can you do? Well, instead, you can go ahead and look at all the Coursera, behavioral psychology, social psychology, family psychology classes that you can take online. You can connect with professors that are teaching that, and then you can also connect with local professors and see if you can work with them, do research with, etc. Sorry, I know this is a little fast, but I want to make sure this is short. I'm happy to dive more this into, depending on the major, of course, of the teen. Test scores. This does matter for a variety of colleges. They found that when they do not care about test scores, they tend to get a student of less caliber, and they're not able to hack some of the more competitive colleges. So depending on your path as a teen and, for the parents and stuff involved, this may or may not be a factor, and it may take 1 to 2 years to study. You may take this actual test 3 to 5 times, and every Sunday you might be taking a practice test. For those students that are not going to a competitive college, this may not be as such a big deal. However, it is something still to note, because you can get scholarships. And if testing comes really easy to you, and maybe it's the PSAT was easy, you were able to study in 8th and 9th grade for that, then why not potentially get some money and be able to put that on your resume and be of high caliber. Extracurriculars, we can go into that in a little bit. Extracurriculars have changed too. It used to be okay to do 1 or 2 clubs. And then also for some, they're like, I want to be in 50 clubs. And with this, they're really looking for leadership. They want to see, where have you gone above and beyond in your community? Have you created your own business, your own brand, your own LinkedIn, webinars, podcasts, clubs? If you're involved in sports, have you also taken on big projects to be a leader? Have you, if you're a cheerleader, instead of just being a cheerleader of one squad, you've helped 30, you've helped just be a leader and make sure that you've taken everyone to state and nationals and training. And so there's a variety of things you can do there. Also, school ranking. If you're going to a competitive high school, this is going to be a little different too. You may or may not be pushed up or down depending on your school ranking. Your school location, is it in a more impoverished area? Is it something that's more competitive? And then, of course, awards. Are you going after awards in your specific major, in your career path, so that it sets you apart? You have to understand the admissions committee is looking at 10,000 other yous, or parents, 10,000 other of your teens. I know your kid is special, but also looking at paper, they don't look special if they look like everyone else. If they are also doing a tutoring club like everyone else. If they're also involved in a basketball team and they made varsity and they're team captain like everyone else. So you have to see that at the end of the day, what type of business projects, community projects can they do to help them stand apart? Some trends, like I mentioned, college tours. Really specifically ask questions when you're in those webinars, when you sign up online, and make sure you go. I want them to know you by name. Introduce yourself before and after. Thank them. Follow up with them. Visit the website. Check out their socials on Instagram and TikTok, etc. Be involved. So what do I do for my students? I help them with 3 specific phases. Phase 1, we explore. We figure out who are you? What is your personality like? What are your passions, your unique story? What are your strengths? And also, what are things that come kind of difficult for you? What are potential majors that are going to be in demand, trending? Is it going to be taken over by AI? Is it not? And what are extracurriculars, projects, community avenues that can set you apart and really build a career path? Because career is more important than college. And of course, as my own being in the corporate world, I don't care if you have a degree. I need to see that you can hack project management, that you can be interviewed in a way where you've done your due diligence. And if we're putting you in front of a lawyer, a VC, someone in the corporate world, you can hack it. And so classes are one piece of that, but I want to see career experience. And so after we figured out some of your exploration and different ways for you to stand out, then we build an actual strategy and planning. Here we develop your specific plan. And this might be a 12, 24, 36, 48 month plan. And every quarter we meet and we have a chance to discuss, okay, where are we academically? Have we identified your goals and are we crushing them? Do you need to make sure that you study for the SAT a little bit more? Do you need some tutoring? And we need to build your resume for summer internship or summer job. Everything relates to the major. Everything relates to the best fit schools that are for you. Best fit means it is the best fit for you, not for your mom, your dad, your grandma, or someone else that went to Stanford. we need to figure out what is a great fit for you academically and career-wise. Because what we don't want is for you to drown at a school just because it has a fun name. We need to make sure it works really well with your learning style. Finally, phase 3, execution and application. Here is where I help you stay accountable. We manage deadlines, we draft your essays, and we might go through anywhere from 10 to 15 drafts for each essay. There are a variety of essays. I'm going to go into that in a different webinar, but basically we have a personal statement, we have a leadership essay, we have maybe a volunteer or academic essay. And in that we showcase an example where you overcame a challenge or you were able to showcase your leadership with analysis, and you're able to share what you learned from each of those experiences. Your essay needs to be your voice. I do not write it for you. We do not copy. We do not use AI to write it. You can get ideas from AI for topics, but we have to make sure that it's in your own voice and your own writing. And then from there, if you have interviews, depending on the school, if we have to make sure that we connect with teachers for letters of recommendation, I always recommend 4. I know they may only call for 2 or 3, but if a teacher gets sick or they're super overwhelmed and it's May and it's like things are not due until September, October, we want to make sure that you have your best foot forward. Oh my gosh, this is getting long. Sorry. All right. Phase 1, explore. This is just a little bit more detail what we do in phase 1. We take a personality test. We create an overall timeline, figure out who you are, your wins. And this helps us with our essays, figure out what it makes you curious. And this also helps you with your major and your projects, etc. I help you with your extracurriculars and your internships. I help you find what specific club or job or internship will align with that career path. And we always choose 3 to 5 majors. We do not choose only one, because what happens if you dislike that teacher when you're there, or you find that major is getting discontinued? All of these I've had experience with. And so we want to make sure we give you as many opportunities as possible to succeed. I would also recommend connecting with LinkedIn, creating a brand, doing individual posts at least once a week that specifically touch on your path. So for example, say you're going into the medical or the marine world, well, then maybe you interviewed a professional, and every Friday you're interviewing different professionals and you're sharing what you learned. Maybe a little bit about the interview is on there, just some top 5 to 7 questions, what you learned this week. This shows colleges that you are above and beyond, because not everybody does this. Another thing that we do for your exploration phase is ask other people what makes them unique so that you can learn. This is just a different avenue about statistics showing that colleges are competitive. This past year for 2025, 2024 to 2025, it was one of the most competitive years ever. Why is that? Well, next year's actually going to be less, because 2007, 2008, there were less babies born. So they're seeing this future 2026 will be less competitive. Here, they just kind of discussed for the top competitive Ivy Leagues, top 5 to 10% of schools, this is what's needed. Basically, perfection, not stressful at all. These are just some examples of some students that I've had. I just wanted to show you that it doesn't matter necessarily if you have a 4.6 GPA, you can still get accepted into colleges. There's a path for everyone. So for example, Eric, this is obviously a pretend picture, but this is a legit student, different name. He had a 2.8 to 3.2 GPA, depending on when we were able to raise up his grades a little bit. We finally got it up to a 3.2. He loved cars, he loved shoes, he loved business, he loved music, but school was tough. And he had an EOP, and I think one of the things that he really struggled with was like English wasn't his first language, and he wasn't sure he'd be able to go to college. He got accepted into 15 different schools. He got over a $15,000 scholarship. He even got a full ride to some schools. This isn't just because English was his second language. This is because we strategically created a strategy so that he would succeed and he could still get into schools. He even got accepted to Penn State, which was, I don't know if he would do well there, but he didn't choose that. He wanted to go to ASU where all his friends went. This is Ty. MIT. MIT is a whole different avenue, right? You're really looking at top 1% competitive. So everything needs to be super robust. Your clubs, your projects, super high expectations in the family. And we made sure that his essays were up to his caliber. He had a big avenue of writer's block. And so we're able to help him. Brown University, this is Andy. Andy just really, really loves dancing. And she was such a character. She came to me during her senior year, and she ended up getting accepted to quite a few different schools, USC and Brown, and she got scholarships, and she chose a dancing major, which is really exciting. And then Skylar was really exciting, went off to Cambridge abroad, wanted to study marine biology and writing, wasn't quite sure what major, and was able to do both abroad during her junior year. And then she got accepted to her number one was Washington. She loved the clinic there. So it was a really good fit for her. So I just wanted to show you, here's what phase one can potentially look like. There's of course many other things, but I just wanted to show you phase one. What are we looking at for 9th and 10th grade? Personality exploration, majors, clubs, leadership. We're looking at how we can potentially create a portfolio that showcases your future career path. And we want to make sure the colleges see that right from the start. This is a tough time because 9th grade kids are coming from 8th grade, middle school. And so they're just kind of getting acclimated. And so it's really hard and super important to focus and hone in. 9th grade is a great time to start thinking about exploring different majors, exploring different projects. It's tough because many people don't realize you should start early instead of late. Okay, this is my sister, Sarah. There she is again. This was our past Halloween. We were cotton candy. So let me show you real quick. This gives you an idea of just a few more of the phases. 9th to 12th grade, after exploration, which I already went over, we go over an overall strategy, hone in on a college list that's a great fit. Not just the top 100 schools. It may be a great fit for your career, internship, master's program that you want to do, etc. And then also we execute from there. There might be, after we submit applications, there's going to be interviews to prepare for, and then also scholarships as well. So your success strategy might start here. This is what I typically do with students, and we do the personality assessment. And then from there, we check out, after we figure out the majors, we do college fit and make sure that your extracurriculars are really honed in on the path you want to go into. This is an example of organization. I know everyone has a different level. They have a different way to do it. Some people prefer Google Docs, Google Sheets, Notion. And so this is one example of a Notion template that I have, and I help my students with it. To be honest, because they write their essays in Google Doc typically, and we organize it with, due dates and prioritizing, this is a beautiful avenue, and I always recommend it for organization. But what I find works best is Google Sheets and a Google Doc, just to keep everything organized. The big part is just making sure I have access to it so I can help. So what are my packages? What do they look like? Well, I have a school community, which is completely remote and collaborative. My first 20 students, it's a different package. It's a starters package. I'm launching it July 1st. I'm super excited. I'll be starting that for 2025. I don't know if I'm going to continue it after next year. I want to try it for a year and see how it works out. I'm used to more on the one-on-one. I create personalized programs. I'm in these students' lives. I'm their mentor. I'm their friend. I'm also their older sibling. And I'm like, hey, we got to get this stuff done. And I'm very thankful that they're open to opening, their lives to me, ensuring that our essays are confidential. There's a lot of things that are shared that they may not share with their parent. And so I don't take that for granted. School community, I go over the first 3 phases and I give them essay samples. It's just a monthly cost and it's something low, under $500. Application lab, this is an 18 cohort. So 6 to 8 students, no more than 8 ever. It's a small cohort and it continues for about 3 weeks. And it's just like a ramped up. We are working on the applications. There's no excuses. We're getting our essays, our personal statement done. That's what PS stands for. And our UC, the UCs, there are 8 options for an essay. And you get to choose 4. It's a one-time payment. Again, I don't know if I'll be doing this next year, but for right now, these are the 3 avenues. And then finally, one-on-one and two-on-one advising. What does that mean? If you have a buddy, a sibling, or a bestie, and you want to work together, I have split this up because people have asked before, and it's really fun. It's fun because you're able to have a buddy to keep you accountable for other than me. And then it's very similar to the cohort in a way, but it's just, again, super personalized. You have your personalized plan, and we just make sure that everything is submitted early because applications open August 1st, and then some are due October 1st, November 1st, December 1st, December 15th, January 1st, January 15th, February, March. So it's really personalized specifically to your plan and your goals. All right, so that is it. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Sorry, this is like way longer of a video than I expected. College Advising Boutique is where you can book a complimentary consultation. I give everyone a free 15 to 20 minutes. You can go over your top 2 to 3 questions. I'm happy to answer anything else I can. And thank you so much for your time. I will see you at College Advising Boutique. Bye-bye.